This is Matt Quistor for Crazy Mo Guitar, coming at you with a cool bend lick that is based on minor pentatonic scales. So check it out. All right, step one, have an extra set of strings with you. Okay, so we're looking at an A minor pentatonic scale. Just to review the pattern, it's root 6, the A is the 5th fret. Here's the shape. 5 to 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Root 6 minor pentatonic. Very, very, very good scale to bend. So bending is one of the things that a lot of guitar players just don't know how to practice. You hear a lot of players just nail some sweet bends and make those awesome faces. So I want to give you a chance to kind of put a technique into a lick here. So we want to really work on bending, but not just doing an exercise. We want to actually gain something from this. So the idea is we're starting off with what's normally the pinky note on the B string, the 8th fret. Now we're going to use our 3rd finger to bend, and basically the reason for that is we're going to use our 2nd and our 1st finger to kind of help that finger out. So the 3rd finger is on our bending note, which is the 8th fret. The 2nd finger is going to be right behind that finger on the 7th fret. So that's going to help me push up on the string. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to focus on just using the 2 fingers. If you get a lot of noise, you can use the 1st finger to kind of mute out the string noise from the G or maybe the D string. But what you're really doing is just letting the finger touch the string. You're not pushing into the fretboard. You're just making contact. So when you bend that note, you don't have to worry about the strings ringing. So if I do that without the 1st finger, you get some of that nasty noise, and sometimes your nails or your calluses might grab the string even more. So I'm going to use my 3rd finger, backing it up with the 2nd. Now the idea here is I'm going to bend this note up a full step. So I want to make the 8 sound like basically the 10th fret, which is an A, which is also the same as the 5th fret on the high E string, which is in our scale shape. So the nice thing is that 5th fret is a way for you to kind of listen and make sure you're getting the pitch of that bend. So we're going to bend the 8, and I'm going to grab that 5, and I basically give it 2 strokes, down, up. That's my main sequence. As you can see, I'm kind of using the 1st finger to block, and then jumping over. That's a great way to start. As you get used to that, you'll find that your 2nd finger can kind of block for you just by over fretting a little bit. Okay, so when you're bending, it's actually good to get kind of flat fingered a little bit as far as for over fretting and muting out the string that's above. So that's the main part of that first lick. I'm doing the bend on 8. Then 2 5s. I just kind of rotate through that sequence, those 3 notes. Then when I want to finish, I grab the 8 on a high E string, then back to the 5. That ends my first phrase. So it's all in that minor pentatonic scale, right in the 2 strings. Alright, and then basically again, the main points are to use a 3rd finger, back up with the 2nd finger. You definitely want to do that. And then if you need to, you can mute out the string with the 1st. That's good just to get used to the motion, but ultimately you want to have just the 2nd and 3rd finger do the work for you. So your 1st finger is ready to go. And again, for the pitch, you want to make sure that 8 sounds like that 5th fret. So if you have to play that note a few times, let's try to match that. So if you go too flat or too high, that sort of thing. So you can kind of bend it up, find that pitch, and then that allows your left hand to get used to how much tension you need on that string. Now the second part of that lick is the same idea. It's just going between the G and the B string. So now we're going to have the 7th fret on the G. Again, I'm backing up with my 2nd finger. And with this one, I'm going to go right to just using those 2 fingers. And basically, I'm going to bend it up. Then grab my 5th fret on the B string. Same idea. I want to bend the 7 to sound like that 5th fret. So if you go too high or too low, okay, you want to get right up to that pitch. And the same thing here. I did my sequence a few times through. Grab the 8, then back to that 5th fret. So one of the main things is to get used to using that 2nd finger to back up the 3rd, at least in this case. You won't always bend with the 3rd finger, but with these 2 licks you definitely do. And allowing those fingers to kind of over fret a little bit to mute out the string that's above that. And again, it's from an A pentatonic, so a great way to practice is to use some chords. If you do, an A minor 7, or just a bar on 5 and then the 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the A string, grab a chord, then do the lick. Do the chord again, do the 2nd lick. Or you can do the same thing with the dominant 7th chord, which is the same idea, just you're adding a 2nd finger on the 6th fret on the 3rd string. Same exact thing. Hit the chord, do the lick. And you can try that in different keys. I can take the minor 7 up to, say, a B, 7th fret. And if I think of my pentatonic scale, here's the visuals. There's my top half right there. There's my note, 3rd finger, back it up. And there you have it. You got a couple of nice ways to practice bending without making it just an exercise. You have an application, so you're practicing something that you can use within a minor pentatonic, which is pretty popular. Alright, so there's a couple of cool licks to incorporate bending. Start off as an exercise, end up with a lick, an idea that is visually mapped right over a minor pentatonic scale that attaches to that minor 7 chord or the dominant 7th chord. So have fun with that. Subscribe, tons of stuff coming, more techniques, more licks, more crazy stuff. I've got glowy glasses. I've got lots of stuff. Alright, Matt Quistorf for Crazy Mo Guitar, signing out. See ya!